Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals. Welcome back to another episode of the Sarah Talks podcast. Another live episode, I should say. Um, I just finished The Last of Us Part 2 in chronological order. I did some reactions to that, so go subscribe to my reaction channel if you want to see that whole thought process. And I am very broken right now. Um, it was very interesting to see both perspectives from Abby and Ellie and playing as both of them and getting more detail into their story and why they did the things that they did. Um, and yeah, and basically, um, fuck. Abby we have Abby and Ellie, and everyone knows Ellie, but Abby is we find out is the daughter of the surgeon that Joel unalived in part 1 of The Last of Us, and we because Abby walks in. I can't get my thoughts. I'm all over the place because of how broken I am, but it's fine. But Abby walks in to see her dad unalived, and um eventually she ends up unaliving Joel with Ellie in the room. So then Ellie goes and tries to find Abby so she can unalive Abby. um and it's just a whole thing, but in the end, this is a spoiler, so if you haven't played the game or like watched a playthrough, spoiler alert. But Ellie fights Abby, but doesn't end up actually unaliving her, but she loses her fingers, 2 of her fingers, because Abby bites her as fight as she's fighting back against Ellie. Um, and we have Dina, who is Ellie's girlfriend, and she gets pregnant and has a baby boy named JJ, who we don't know the name, but we're presuming it's Jesse Joel. But it's not Jesse Jr., that's all we know. Um, and in the end, Dina and the baby Lee have left, so Ellie is all alone. Hi, love. I'm trying to give thoughts, but it's not my brain is not braining because of just I'm a mess right now, but it's fine. Um, but yeah, so Dina ends up leaving, and Ellie's biggest fear is being alone, so that was an eye opener for her. And that triggered me actually because my biggest fear is being alone. And yeah, so I got a little triggered by that, but it's fine. But yeah, that's basically The Last of Us Part 2. Like I said, it was very interesting to get both Abby and Ellie's stories and get more context into the decisions that both of them made. Abby becomes more reasonable, not a good person necessarily, but she becomes more reasonable. Ellie becomes more unreasonable, and a lot of in-group, out-group bias. And I mentioned this in my last reaction, but I like that in The Last of Us Part 2, we get more of the lesson isn't about the infected. Like, they're still there and we're still unaliving them, but the story is more about, like, the different groups that we run into, whether it's, the Washington Liberation Front or the WLF or the Wolves, and then there's the Seraphites, and then there's, I just forgot the last group, but there's another group in the end that, we find out about, and so it's very interesting how, like, all these different groups, have in in group, out group bias, so that was kinda, like, the main focus. of The Last of Us Part 2, which I enjoyed. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Um, whew, okay. And so now that that's done, I can watch the show now, which I'm excited about. And I finished it in time for season 2 to come out, so yay. Um, and that will lead me well, it doesn't really lead me into the next topic, but I'm just gonna make an awkward transition to the next topic. But a couple days ago on Wednesday, today's Friday, um, I received a very awesome gift from the lovely Bryce, who is in the chat right now. And I did not know what it was. All I knew was that he told me on Saturday that he was getting me something as an early birthday present, but he wasn't gonna tell me what it was and told me it was, like, related to Wicked somehow, so I was like, "Okay." Um, and you can see me open it on, my Nintendo announcement or, like, when, Nintendo announced the Switch 2 and, like, was going over the features, at the end of that reaction video, I unboxed the gift, so you can see my reaction in that. Um, but yeah, I have it here, I'll show you, but it's a mini 3D projector. This is it. Um, and I've used it a few times already. It's very I'm very protective over this. Um, and it came and he gave me 2 pairs of real 3D glasses that are clear and not the anaglyph red and blue ones, so they actually work. Um, and I started watching his 3D videos and oh my god, 10 out of 10. This thing, great. Like, I'm using it like, I have it, I project it onto my closet, and it is really cool, and I plan to use it for, my as my PS5 screen, which will lead I'll get into that in a second. But, yeah, 10 out of 10, literally the best gift that I've ever gotten from anybody ever. Um, Very grateful, did not have to do that at all, but he did, and it's very much appreciated, and I could go on and on about that for, like, a whole hour, but, yeah, that's that topic. Now leading on to the PS5. So, in the last live that I did on this channel, I talked about how I accidentally broke something with the my stream setup. Come to find out, oh yeah, and I'll make a new 3D channel soon, and I'm also gonna make a review channel where I review the product in detail and also do some, like, game and other reviews as well. So stay tuned for those coming up in the near future. Um, but yeah, but let's so the PS5. So to make a long story short, because I don't really wanna talk for a long time, because 'cause I'm kind of talked out right now from all the reaction streams I just did, but, we I bought another HDMI cord because I was like, "Okay, maybe it's the HDMI my old one, like, got broken or something." So I bought another one, and then my dad let me borrow one, and I tried 3 different ones, and it still was not working. Like, I was getting a black screen on my computer, um, when I also bought a new capture card too, because I was like, "Okay, maybe it's the capture card." Plug it into the computer recognized the capture card, but there was no picture with the PS5 screen on my OBS when I was using it, or with the capture card plugged in. So I was like, "Okay, it's not that." Then I tried the HDMI cords and it wasn't that. Um, Yesterday we blindly like reset the PlayStation, like, we did a factory reset, and that's still and I used the, 3D projector to try to show the screen, and it was saying no signal, even though it was on with the HDMI. So, to make a long story short, we get on the phone, and when I say we, I mean Bryce and I, because everyone that knows me knows I'm anxious as fuck, and making phone calls is something I'm still working on doing. But anyway, so we get on the phone with PlayStation, tell them everything that we did, and I the guy had us look at the console itself, and I noticed that there was a little bend, like, in the HDMI port, and we had watched a video last night of a customer saying, like, "Oh, this happens with, launch day PlayStation 5s," which is what the one that I have right now is, because it was purchased on launch day, um, and we try to go on the PlayStation website and put in a repair request that way, but it wasn't recognizing the serial number, and so I contact, the 24/7, like, customer support chat, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna have to call, your region's number," so they gave us the number for or a link to the number because apparently they're not allowed to put the number in the chat or direct links even though they gave us a direct link, which I thought was weird, but anyway, that's not the point that I'm trying to make, but, so we get on the phone with them today, and we're explaining everything that we tried, and I noticed the little bend in the HDMI port, so I mentioned that to the guy, and then he's like, "Okay, yeah, you are going to have to send it in. Here's all the steps that you need to do." Took down our contact information, and basically, they're sending me a box to put the PlayStation in, and I send it to them, and then they're gonna send me a new one or fix the one that is broken, but it'll be new, I think. And yeah, PlayStation customer service is 10, very impressed and happy with the service, and yeah, so if you ever need PlayStation customer service, they're very nice, very helpful, um, and I definitely recommend contacting them, if you ever need it. So, it's good to have good customer service because 'cause I've run into, like, problems with other companies, and then they're like, "Oh, well, did you try this? Did you try this?" And it's like, "Yeah," and then they tell you that they can't help you, but here they actually, like if we hadn't told them, like, we already did all of this, then I think he would have said to try those, but because we had said that we had tried all that, then he was like, "Okay, go ahead and send it in. Here's the steps." But yeah. What else are you looking forward to watching in 3D? I am excited to watch Wicked in 3D. Um, I'm excited to watch, more 3D videos. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward um, to watching in 3D. But yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts that one person asked for, but, it's okay. I can show you how to convert 2D videos into 3D. Okay. I don't want it to break my computer, though, that's the only thing. Yeah, you can show me. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because, like I said, I'm kind of talked out from my reaction streams that I did, and I need to kinda go decompress for a while. But, thanks for showing up. If you're here after the fact, feel free to comment, and I will, comment as I see them. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to be a good bandicoot, cause Crash is watching, and see you next time.